Okay, my dear students, now we are back to our new session, history. Previous sessions, we have learned or we have completed first chapter, that is a rise and spread of Christianity, and second, rise and spread of rise and spread of Islam, and third, we were going through, that is what the Delhi Sultanate. So all of you take out chapter number 3. This is what lesson number 3, the Delhi Sultanate. In this lesson, previous sessions, we have completed Turkish conquest of North India, and second heading it was Muhammad Ghori's invasions, and third one, establishment of Delhi Sultanate. In that we know, after the Muhammad Ghori's attack, he had appointed Qutbuddin Aybak as a governor of Turkish territory, and later the death of Muhammad Ghori, he himself proclaimed as an independent ruler, and he established what is it, Delhi Sultanate. His capital was Delhi. Why? Because it is its position that made the Sultanate kings to choose the Delhi as the capital. First, Qutbuddin Aybak's dynasty was known as a slave or Mamluk dynasty. What is the reason behind it? Because Qutbuddin Aybak himself was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. That is why it is known as a slave or Mamluk dynasty. Then he started, who started? Qutbuddin Aybak started to build this one, what is it, Qutb Minar, but he could not complete it. His follower, that he have completed the construction of Qutb Minar. Who was the follower? Next king, that is was Ghiyasuddin Balban. Balban completed it. So whenever question comes like who built Qutb Minar, then one person we can't say, that together we have to, that is Qutbuddin Aybak and Balban. Okay. And next, Khalji dynasty. After that another dynasty comes, that is what a Khalji dynasty. And the Khalji dynasty was established by Jalaluddin Khalji and Jalaluddin Firoz. And but what had happened? His nephew had killed him, and his nephew Alauddin, he proclaimed himself as a sultan. But one thing, though he killed his uncle, but Alauddin Khalji, he was a very efficient ruler, and he was the ablest ruler in Khalji dynasty. And now let us see next dynasty, that is Tughlaq dynasty. Tughlaq dynasty was it was in 1320 to 1412. In that one famous king, that Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he is considered what foolish king of Indian history. Why? Because of his action. What action he had taken, it was wise, but it was not introduced in a proper time. That is why his name is known as a foolish king. We know Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was a very learned one, he was a scholar, and whatever action he had taken, it was for what? It was for the improvement of his kingdom, but time which he introduced it, it was not proper time. First program or a first plan he introduced, that was a shift of capital. He shifted the capital from Delhi to Dauladabad because that time Deccan area, Deccan area is the most fertile land of Indian territory. And early times we know most of the people they were farmers, and so in order to protect Deccan area, he sent his or shifted his capital from Delhi to Dauladabad. But after shifting, he understood it is a foolish act, so he returned back to Delhi. It lost heavy loss to the treasury. It made a heavy loss, and next action was combined, but it was a failure. Then taxation, that also was failure. Then again token currency, and he was very much impressed with the paper currency introduced in China. So he also changed the currency of India. But lastly he realized it was a foolish act, so he withdrew it. This also brought a heavy loss. Now comes Firoz Tughlaq. So Firoz was a cousin of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and when he ascended the throne, then what was he got an empty treasury that put him in trouble. And now we are going to start Timur's invasion. After Firoz, there was there was weak rulers in India that encouraged the outside rulers to attack India. First among them was Timur. He was a ruler of Samarkand in Central Asia. He invaded India in 1398 and occupied some territories in the northwest. He attacked and he conquered some of the territories. And he plundered many cities, and what had to happen? He took along with him many artisans to make monuments in Samarkand. This all made India weak, and this Tughlaq dynasty have become very weak. And now next dynasty, what is it? Lodi dynasty. It was in 1451 to 1526. The Lodi were Afghan tribesmen who had entered India during Muhammad bin Tughlaq time. Lodi people that were they were Afghan tribesmen, and they were entered in India at the time of Tughlaq, and they conquered some of the territories of this Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and they started independent kingdom. That is Samarkand, Sikandar Lodi, first one. Bahulal Lodi was succeeded by his able son Sikandar Lodi. Then Sikandar brought the nobles under the control. What he did? This Bahulal Lodi, he established the kingdom. After that, secondly, Sikandar Lodi came and he introduced many new systems in administration, like a spy system, then supporting the agriculture, then regulated the market prices, give justice to all. These all the things they have done. These all encouraged the people, and they next one was Ibrahim Lodi. Sikandar Lodi was succeeded by his son Ibrahim Lodi. At this time, Rana Sangha, the ruler of Mewar, has extended his territory up to the Bayana near Agra. This endangered the Lodi Empire. There was a rebellion in Bihar too. These two, from Bihar as well as from Rana Sangha, there was an attack threatened, and this causes this empire put in trouble. And dear students, we will discuss causes for the decline of Delhi Sultanate, that is in the next session. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.